All right, music time. I think we're good. Hello, hello. Morning. I'm sorry, Peter. Good afternoon. They're not real time zones. Make sure we start doing all the good things as we come in, please. Let's start tapping that screen. If you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up button. Not time zone diversity, Justin. That's wild. Guys, come on. We're not tapping. We gotta be tapping. Professional. That's good for you for opposing Harris. She didn't win. She didn't win, but politics continue, professional. Did you know that? Good morning, good afternoon to those of you on the East Coast. I appreciate you guys being here today. It is, God, what is it? It's Wednesday today. So thank you guys so much. TikTok, let's make sure we are doing the good things. Don't make me dommy mommy yell at you, although I know you guys like that. Let's make sure we are tapping the screen, sharing the live out, doing your daily heart me if you have not done so. Remember, when you share the live, you can repost it, you can add it to your story, you can share it with 5 of your friends. That's great. Ominous if you could just chill for a sec. So make sure we're doing that. I have my ones, what do I have? My roses up there, my rose gift. Let's try to get that accomplished so that we can keep pushing onto the algorithm. That would be wonderful. If you're watching over on YouTube, hit that thumbs up button. It does help push us onto the algorithm as well. I have my 100 goal that I have every single day. Guys, this is what I do for work. This is my job. This is how I pay my bills. So if you guys could contribute to that, that would be wonderful. So if you can go to the link tree in my bio, you can find my Cash App, Venmo, and PayPal, all of those on there to be able to donate to me. I am also helping with mutual aid for a friend in the community today. We have a friend in the community who needs a little bit of extra help with rent. And so in order to do that, I have a mutual aid fund that I'm starting at 0. Remember, for my goal, I count down. For that, I'm going to count up. And I'm not going to say what the minimum amount is because it is just based off of your generosity. But if you have any extra money to give, you can also use the links in my bio. Venmo, Cash App, and PayPal, and put in there that it is for the mutual aid, and I will be sure to keep track of it and give that to the person in need who we are raising it for, and I will show you receipts of that in the Discord as well. So guys, we are doing mutual aid today, so please make sure that you pull out those wallets if you can, and also my job, it's still my job, so I have my 100 goal. Let's make sure we are supporting, okay? And we are going to get started today. Thank you so much for the jewels, Kathy. I appreciate that. I know the alerts are going to look a little funny with the mutual aid thing being right there. I didn't quite know where to put it. So there is that. Let me get a new goal since you guys rocked the roses out. Thank you so much. And we can get to some of the people in the queue and then maybe get to my outline today. We will see. Ricky, how are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I am doing well today. Did you vote for Trump?
So I was hospitalized, so I couldn't. But in 2024, I would have. But I voted for Biden and Hillary before.
In 2020 and 2016, excuse me, you did Biden and Hillary?
Yeah,
Okay.
Hillary and Biden, and then 24, I would have did Trump.
You
Yes.
would have done Trump, but you were not able to because you were in the
Yes,
hospital.
ma'am.
Okay. Why are you supporting Trump?
Um. So, and here's the thing. I've tried to explain this numerous times, and I feel like people just just came at me aggressively. And it's just I feel okay. The best way to explain it is like if you were choosing your own doctor, right? And you might want a woman doctor, not a male doctor,
Sure.
and it's literally the same concept. I cannot trust a woman. I realized I
No,
don't
no, no,
know.
no. That's hold on though, because that's I can get into the misogyny you need to unpack behind that. However, we are not talking about the election in and of itself. I don't. I want to know if you're supporting what he's doing in office because he won, regardless of whether you were able to vote for him or not. He won. He is in office. Do you support the things he's doing now or not?
Oh, gotcha. No, so literally, I'm just an anti-feminist. Other than that, I support nothing that man stands for. I'm an
Oh,
anti.
okay.
So
And
yeah.
why are you anti-feminist?
Oh, I guess feminism, the way I see it, feminism is it's the biggest extension of the patriarchy by bootlicking capitalism. I
How
think
so?
it's not feasible. So okay, I mean you can kind of see it in the data. Women are projected to be more child free and single than ever. So a lot of men are involuntarily celibate. At the end of the day, women work for themselves and men work for women. So it's like we're working for different. We have different.
No, no. What actually women working in the workplace is also part of the pay. That's just capitalism, not necessarily the patriarchy. But women choosing not to have families is in response to the patriarchy that we live under. We can see that with that's not true in way of women having a wealth gap, right? White women make less than men, and black men make less than white women, and black women make less than even black men. So the patriarchy is alive and well. And what I don't think that we understand about the patriarchy is that it also doesn't it benefits you, but it's really not there to help you depending on your class within how much you make.
Okay. Yeah. So women control 85% of the spending. Um,
Where are you getting that from?
that's a fact. I'm in Google. I
No,
wouldn't say anything's
you
not
go
a
ahead
fact.
and you find that for me. And you can come back another day after you found that. W's to Olive. We get the sound because Hubbub's here.
Stop looking at me, Swan.
So, there's that real quick as we start our day off with I'm just anti feminist. Feminism is the patriarchy. How? Explain that to me. W's to Peter for the 1353 for starting our day off right with 8647. You're right. That is what the goal should look like, Peter. So W to Peter, please. I appreciate it so much. Brings us down to 8647. Let me bring up work wife, which it was work wife with the swan. So W to work wife. All right, guys. So again, 8647 left in the goal for me. And for mutual aid, let's make sure that we are doing that if you can. Again, you still send those to the links in my bio. Just put on there that they are for mutual aid so I can set it aside to send to the community member in need. Okay? Thank you so much. No. guys are the most impatient. All right. Anyway, we'll turn this back on and we'll get started. How's everybody doing on this Wednesday? Yeah. All right. So my entire show yesterday was going on about the disclosure forms for Trump's business stock trades and bond trades, and also the anti-weaponization fund. So JD Vance then did a press conference because they're kind of just throwing in whoever to take over for Caroline Leavitt right now because she's on maternity leave. She had her child and she's doing motherly things, we assume, and not feeding child blood to her. We don't know. But, you know, she's assumingly being a mother. So we've had Marco Rubio, and now it's JD Vance being the press secretary instead of hiring a new one. So Vance is going to get asked these questions about the anti-weaponization fund, and we're going to look into that in just a minute. Okay, the request was canceled. Awesome. We can keep going. So I showed you yesterday they were asking Todd Blanche in Congress specifically, hey, there were people convicted of abusing and harming police officers, attacking police officers. Are they going to be able to apply? And Todd Blanche says, yes, they're going to be able to apply. It's like, what, we're not going to put any kind of regulation or rule? That's interesting. And yeah, or just using the deputy secretary. That's weird. It's weird. And JD Vance gives us a very similar lukewarm answer, which is fun. Let me make sure the volume's up for you guys. Okay, we're good.
I understand that everybody is eligible to apply for this fund. I mean, you're eligible, but I assume you're not going to apply, and you don't think you should get money out of this fund. Of course. So isn't it just as easy to say that people that attacked police officers should not get taxpayer money from this fund?
Well, look, John, we're not trying to give money to anybody who attacked a police officer. We're trying to give money, not give money, we're trying to compensate people where the book was thrown at them. They were mistreated by the legal system. Sometimes, you know, we are.
Who? Give me a name, give me a case of a January 6er who had the book thrown at them and was treated unfairly.
We do have, John, in this country, innocent until proven guilty. We do have people who were accused of attacking law enforcement officers. That doesn't mean that we're going to completely ignore some of the claims that they're going to make. We're going to evaluate these things on a case-by-case basis.
Oh, so now we're going to do case by case, unlike the pardons that Donald Trump did that weren't case by case at all. Okay. That's great. We love to hear that. Can I get W's to Justin, please, for the $5 for mutual aid, and I love mutual aid, So we're gonna go in here and we're gonna change this, and again we're counting up for mutual aid, counting down for my goal. W Justin, thank you so much for contributing to the mutual aid fund for somebody in our community who needs help making part of their rent. I appreciate that so much. So again. We're going to do case-by-case basis for January 6ers who attacked cops who apply for this fund, but we didn't do it for their pardon. But it gets worse, because then JD Vance talks about sympathy, and who sympathy didn't go to. Oh, well, let's see if you'll stick this time. Texas, how are you today?
Hello.
That's a child. Go to school, kid. You guys are almost done. I promise. You guys are almost on summer. Still don't come up, but almost time. It's almost time, but it's okay. Oops. Okay, messing with my screens. There we go.
But the American media and the American Legal Academy has decided that even though they committed bad crimes, their sentence was disproportionate, they were mistreated in some way. You know who never, ever gets an ounce of sympathy when it comes to that disproportionate sentencing is people who voted for Donald Trump and participated in the January 6th protest. But the American media and the American...
January 6ers don't get sympathy.
They are on one today.
Thank you for calling the stream. Can I get your age, state, and who you voted for?
Hello?
So I didn't let you up on the panel here, so you decided you would call. That makes sense. Again, I'm going to let you listen to this one more time.
But the American media and the American Legal Academy has decided that even though they committed bad crimes, their sentence was disproportionate, they were mistreated in some way. You know who...
Who said that?
never ever gets an ounce of sympathy when it comes to that disproportionate sentencing is people who voted for Donald Trump and participated in the January 6th protest.
Why the fuck would we give an ounce of sympathy to the people who were at Jan 6? And why are you calling it a protest? You guys are cool with this? Our money to pay back people who smeared shit on the walls, who threatened Congress members, whether you like them or not, they shouldn't have been threatened. Stormed our motherfucking Capitol. You're cool with that? Everything's fine? Everything's good? So then he goes into, or he gets asked about the fact that people can't afford groceries or gas. And, yet you want to pull out this fund. And he's going to try to bring up the OBBBA, which they keep trying to fucking rename, and I don't know why they keep trying to fucking rename it, because it's not the working families tax cut. It's not doing that, but we will talk about exactly what he says is in it, because he pivots to a very specific moment when she's asking him about groceries and gas being too expensive. Hold on 1 second. No? Okay, then go away. Why is my button mashing today? It's in a mood. All right, keep doing the good things, guys. I appreciate it. We are at 8,000 likes. We need to be hitting 25,000 likes before we hit 1030. So I don't know what you guys are doing. 129 of you in here. Make sure your fingers are still working. You have to make sure you exercise them or they won't work with your partner. Okay, so let's make sure we're doing that. I appreciate it.
Going back to the price tag for this DOJ fund, $1.8 billion. You have people that can't afford groceries. Gas is high. People are making sacrifices in their personal lives to accommodate for this rise in prices. People are telling us that they feel financially worse off. They're very concerned about the uncertainty. How can you justify that amount of taxpayer money for that fund when people are struggling? What do you say to Americans who wonder why this fund is getting all this money and I can't afford basic life amenities?
Well, let me say a couple things about that. First of all, you said $1.8 billion, and it's important for people to realize we're not just writing a $1.8 billion check. We're going to take a lot of people who are going to apply and say that they have been mistreated by their government. We're going to handle those situations case by case. And if we determine they were, in fact, mistreated by their government, we think it's reasonable to give them just compensation. But when you talk about funds and pots of money that are out there, I mean, thanks to Donald Trump's leadership and the working families tax cut, we put $40 billion into a rural health care fund in order to stop the closure, or at least prevent some closure of rural hospitals and rural clinics that had been decimated under the Biden administration. We had a piece of tax legislation that put hundreds of billions of dollars into the pockets of families. No taxes on Social Security, no taxes on overtime, no taxes on tips. So I reject the idea that we can't walk and chew gum at the same time. We can give just compensation to people who are mistreated by the government. We can also make sure that the American people, we do everything that we can to make their lives better, to make them more prosperous, to give them better jobs. That is the primary focus of Donald J. Trump's White House. That's the question all of us ask every single day is, how do we make our fellow citizens more prosperous? We can do that while also taking care of people who were mistreated by the last administration.
Can we? Because obviously we can't. And so again, he brings up the rural fund, the 50 billion in the fund of the OBBA. The problem with that is what they took out. So this is the KFF. Also, real quick, Patrick, I'm not sure what your message is. So if you can put it, I don't know which chat you're in, but I'm looking at all the chats. Can you put rewrite your message? Because I'm not sure, was that towards me or was that towards the fund? I just want to make sure, because the message is unclear to me. Some fun with your Nala E, and I don't know what that means. So I just want to make sure that we are on the same page, that I know where that money goes. And I will get to my other message that I received in just a second. But this is the KFF. They have done multiple studies on these things. They tell you the authors, they tell you when it was published. This is about, again, the OBBA, which they keep trying to rebrand as the Working Families Tax Cut Act, which it's not. That's not the name of it. That's not what it was decided as when it was voted in on July 4th. So let's just remember that. That's not what it's called. And very specifically, it talks about the rural fund. Let's see, where is it? To address, because they were cutting, right? Okay. Approximately 66 million people, about 20% of the U.S. population, live in... Oh, thank you, Patrick. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. Let me make sure I write down that amount, because as soon as I click PayPal, it looks different. Thank you. And I will do bigger W's after I read this, I promise. Approximately 66 million people, about 20% of the U.S. population, live in rural areas where Medicaid covers 1 in 4 adults, a higher share than in urban areas, and plays a large part in financing healthcare services. In rural communities, Medicaid covers nearly half of all births and 1/5 of inpatient discharges. The Congressional Budget Office, that's the CBO, a government entity, estimates that the enacted reconciliation package, that's the OBBBA, would reduce federal Medicaid spending by an estimated $911 billion over 10 years and result in 10 million more uninsured people nationwide. I'm going to skip here. To address those concerns of rural hospital closures, the reconciliation package includes $50 billion in funding over 5 years, starting this year, for state grants through a rural health transformation program referred to here as the Rural Health Fund. The Policy Watch estimates how the reconciliation package would affect federal Medicaid spending in rural areas and how that compares to the newly proposed funding for rural areas. So the problem with that is, though, building on separate KFF estimates of state-by-state Medicaid cuts, the analysis estimates that federal Medicaid spending in rural areas could decrease by $137 billion over 10 years, about $87 billion more than is appropriated for the Rural Health Fund. So although they put a fund in the big beautiful bill for $50 billion for rural hospitals, they are decreasing that budget by $87 billion. So you took more than you put back. So the fact that J.D. Vance is touting this as some sort of win for the American people, as if they are, I don't have my ring light on, as if they are doing good things for the American people, is silly. It's just silly. You took that money away. But for some reason, we can find $1.7 billion for January Sixers. And you guys are fine with that.
If JD Vance is saying that the intention of this fund is to make sure that Americans who've been done wrong by the government can get compensated, does that mean all of us can apply for it too?
Sounds like it.
I mean,
Patrick's a
let
hater.
me be the guinea pig. You know what? Once I figure out how to apply and do a claim for this fund, I will do it, and we will see what happens, friends.
W. Patrick for the 1880 on PayPal for 6767.
Why?
W to you. Just to torture you, probably. So
Why, Patrick?
So W. Patrick, please. Let's make sure we're getting W's for Patrick in there. And also, thank you, Juicy Juice Godfrey, for the $15. I don't know why I always say the whole thing. I should just say Juicy Juice, but Juicy Juice for the 15. Said for 10 for Aid and 5 for me. Thank you so much. So I can do math. That goes down to that. And then we increase this to 15. Thank you guys so much for helping with this fund. I appreciate it. And again, I will show daily. I plan to do this for as long as we need to, and I will show you daily the receipts that I send to the person who needs them, okay? I will do that. It's going to look like a PayPal receipt, but I will do that.
I'm happy you guys enjoyed rage baiting me. I don't know how I feel about it, though.
I don't know how I feel about it. Daniel Pack, I'm also doing mutual aid. Do you have an issue with that, or you just came in here to be a hateful fuck like you always are? I'm surprised nobody's paid to mute you. But let's go, actually, real quick. I'm going to go back to Vance. He has to address Donald Trump's words. But first, I forgot that I have him down here. He did some sort of rally. You know, they're doing their whole, like, economy tour where they try to sell us on the economy that's not going well. But this one made me laugh because J.D. Vance gives us a very clear warning about who to vote against in the midterm. So for everybody voting, I just want to make sure that we're paying attention to what J.D. Vance says.
If you want to rebuild the American dream for the next generation, vote against the crazy leadership in Washington, D.C. Vote for...
Just one more time.
If you want to rebuild the American dream for the next generation, vote against the crazy leadership in Washington, D.C. Vote for...
Who's in charge of Washington, D.C. right now?
Yeah, those Republicans that are sitting in office, you know, my boss. Yeah, let's make sure let's get rid of the corruption in DC. Right?
Who's in charge of the executive branch? Okay. And who's in charge of Congress? Okay. Vote against them in the midterms. Yes, JD Vance. Yes, run it. I'm just so glad. Like, so the DNC doesn't have a lot of money. And even then, locally, the DNC does not pay for a lot of local races unless they're really contentious. So I'm just so glad that the Republicans and the Trump administration and Trump himself are saving the Democratic Party so much fucking money in ads. Thanks for that. We can just run your shit. That's great. We love that. Thanks, JD. That shit, I saw him say that. I was like, are you, like, is he campaigning against Trump in a shady way without saying it? It sounds like it. But then Vance gets asked about the fact that Donald Trump, when we played it, not only did Donald Trump say that he does not think, that's the word, because I don't like what he says. He misrepresents what's actually said. Donald Trump says, I don't think about the Americans' financial situation at all, not even a little bit. And then he went on with, it was either Bear or Hannity, and he said, we played that clip too, where he said, that's a perfect statement. I would make it again. Right? We played that. So then Vance is asked about that, because Vance keeps saying it's out of context. It's out of context. I don't see where the out of context is about it when that's literally what the fuck he said. It was Hannity. Thank you, Lynette.
But just to follow up on the war, you last week denied that the president said he was not taking Americans' financial situations into consideration when he's making decisions on the Iran war. He was asked about that again. He stood by it, called it a perfect statement, and said he would make it again. Do you believe that Americans' financial situations should be taken into consideration when you're making decisions as an administration about the war?
See, Caitlin, what you did is you misrepresented the question that I was asked, and then you misrepresented the answer that I gave. What I said is that a question that was asked where the president allegedly said that he didn't care about Americans' financial...
No. JD Vance, you are misrepresenting it. He never said, and nobody is claiming that, and even Caitlin Collins did not repeat that. If you guys listen, she did not repeat that. He did not say care. You're correct. He never said, I don't care about the Americans' financial situation. See how they twist it? That's true. He didn't say that. He said, I don't think about the Americans' financial situation at all. That's what he said. And that's not allegedly. He fucking said that.
Financial situations. He never said that. What he said is that when it was totally taken out of context.
Oh, so he said it then. It was just taken out of context. Which one is it? Did he not say it? Or did he say it and it was taken out of context? Which one?
What he said is that when he is negotiating with the Iranians, he's focused on the national security objectives that he's trying to achieve. Of course, the president has a mandate to be focused on a number of things. And I guarantee you every single day, I have conversations with him about it. Every single day, sure. He's worried about his fellow Americans. He wants them to be prosperous. He wants them to thrive. He wants them to have good jobs. That's why we've done the things and taken the steps that we've taken in order to create record job growth.
Well, let's talk about that then. Let's talk about the fact that he says he cares. Because we have clips from that. So yesterday, Donald Trump was in front of the construction site of the ballroom that's a fucking bunker. And he talks about prices. Because prices are high. You guys can't deny that the prices are high right now. Okay? And this is what he said about that. Is this also out of context?
And this is peanuts. And I appreciate everybody putting...
This is peanuts. The prices, it's peanuts. It's nothing.
Up with it for a little while. It won't be much longer, but you're going to have, and frankly, there is so much oil out there. One of the things that is happening is these big ships are coming up to Texas, Louisiana, and Alaska.
Okay, so now we're glazing the oil companies. That's great. How does that help Americans?
And they're loading up. But I don't even think about that. What I think about is you can't let Iran have a nuclear weapon, and they won't have a nuclear weapon, and they fully understand it.
I don't think about that. I just think about Iran and the nuclear weapon that they never had. Like, are you guys well? I don't think you are. But are you guys well? By the way, just in the vein of what Olive said, here's Todd Blanche. I don't know if he's trying to give like a ha to the left, even though we don't give a fuck about Hunter Biden, but Hunter Biden can apply for the fund. Are you guys cool with that?
And otherwise, there is no limitation. So whether you're Hunter Biden or whether you're another individual who believed they were a victim of weaponization, they can all apply for to this fund. And again, it doesn't mean the commissioners will agree. It doesn't mean that they're getting $10 million.
The commissioners he appoints, by the way. Remember that. He appoints all 5 commissioners. He's only talked about having one that might have some sort of congressional approval.
Or whatever was just read a few minutes ago. It just means that you can apply.
And the decision by...
Well, I guess, you know, since Hunter Biden was weaponized by his own father's DOJ, I guess he can apply too. I don't want to pay Hunter Biden. I don't want to pay anybody for anti-weaponization, which, by the way, I don't have it on here, but there's already been a claim, just so everybody knows. There's a man by the name of Michael Caputo. Michael Caputo worked in Donald Trump's first term, and he was investigated, never charged, never convicted, but investigated for Russian collusion because he had said he had a meeting with somebody in Russia who said that they had dirt on Hillary Clinton. He then later denied that meeting ever happened, but he was investigated for that, right? Not convicted, didn't go to jail. And he's already filed a claim towards the anti-weaponization fund, just so everybody knows. But as I said yesterday, and I continue to say, my point is I want this fund to go away. And what I would rather see is a legislative bill that restricts and bans Congress members and the president and his cabinet from being able to trade stocks. That's what I would like to see. The great thing, and I've talked about it all the time, is that Republican Senator Josh Hawley proposed exactly fucking that, right? Okay. Republican Senator Josh Hawley says he favors a stock trading ban that applies to presidents. Hawley is a co-author of bipartisan legislation that would ban members of Congress, the president, and the vice president from trading individual stocks. This was May 19th. He's proposed this way earlier, though. Senator Josh Hawley of Missouri doubled down Tuesday on his support for banning presidents along with other federal officials from trading individual stocks. Can we get on the same page with this, that all of Congress should not be able to trade stocks? All of them. Every single one. I'd be in favor of a uniform rule for everybody, Hawley told NBC News when asked about a recent filing that showed President Donald Trump made thousands of stock trades in recent months. I showed you all of that yesterday. By everybody, I mean everybody. Supreme Court justices, you pick it, that says you can't trade in stock. I mean, I'm in support of that. So I'd start with Congress, but I'd be happy to extend it all across the board. I'm with you. I'll sign on to whatever petition to get that put onto the floor. Whatever you need me to do, Josh Hawley, I'm there. The senator's comments came after NBC News and other news outlets reported Trump or his investment managers, which again, remember the trust is in his son's control right now, had made more than 3,700 stock trades in the first quarter of this year, according to a financial disclosure filed with the U.S. Government of Ethics. Those trades were of stock the president personally owns and involved major corporations with dealings before his administration. The White House did not immediately respond to a request for comment from NBC News. In July, Trump, and I forgot about this part, Trump lambasted Hawley after the senator joined Democrats on the Senate Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee to advance a ban on congressional stock trading that also covered the president and vice president. 3 people familiar with the episode told NBC News at the time that Hawley did not consult with fellow Republicans or the White House before doing so. Quote, I don't think real Republicans want to see their president, who had unprecedented success, targeted, Trump wrote on Truth Social, because of the whims of a second-tier senator named Josh Hawley. Are you guys cool with that? He had a fucking hissy fit when a Republican proposed that maybe him and the vice president, along with Congress, should not be able to trade in stocks they effectuate. Is that a problem? Donald Trump does get paid, Ronald. I don't know where the fuck you're getting that from. Can you prove to me he doesn't? Prove to me he doesn't get paid. Hawley's compromise legislation with Senator Gary Peters, Michigan, Democrat from Michigan, delayed implementation for officials until the start of their next term, which would effectively exempt Trump. The bill advanced to the committee with unified Democratic support plus that of Hawley, but has since stalled. Democratic support plus that of Hawley, but has since stalled. Who's in charge of Congress again? Brandon, did you go read anything on the January 6th committee yesterday? G Peasy, I literally talked about it. So, G Peasy, did you know that the bill that they proposed, this is a new one, a renamed one, because if bills sit in committee too long, they die and you can't re-up it. But Josh Hawley's original, okay, this is Josh Hawley. Josh Hawley's original bill that did the exact same thing, would have kept Congress people from being able to trade stocks, was called the Pelosi Act. Did you know that? Because, yeah, it was to get a dig at Nancy Pelosi, who we're pretty sure, because of her husband's previous job as a trader, had inside information, because she was in Congress, to then trade stocks and make money. I agree. And it was called the Pelosi Act. And the Pelosi called Josh Hawley and said, I am totally on board with pushing this forward. I love it. Let's do it. And like I've said over and over again, please investigate. Please charge Pelosi. Please do. I'm so with you. And then he had to redo it again, because when bills die in committee, they die. You have to re-up them. Their leadership that Vance says to vote against. Right. Vote against that. And Josh Hawley worked bipartisanly with a Democrat from Michigan to propose this bill that's now also just sitting in committee. Why won't it get brought to the floor in the Senate? I'm wrong. I'm wrong about what, Ronald? My anger about stock trading and insider stock trading knows no political party. I don't give a fuck. Go get her. I don't care about that old bitch. The only thing I liked that she did is she was petty when she clapped, and it was cute. Like, other than that, I don't care. Convict her of insider trading. That's fine. After Trump's criticism, Hawley said in July that a follow-up conversation with the president went well and that they both wanted to see a congressional stock trading ban enacted. Hawley said there was a misunderstanding that the bill would force Trump to sell his Mar-a-Lago club and other assets, adding that they cleared up the confusion in their discussion. I don't know why that would ever be a confusion. I guess Donald Trump is a fucking idiot. I thought he was a great businessman, but apparently him or his lawyers don't know how to read bills. In what fucking world? Just read the bill. Anyway. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said at the time the president conceptually was supportive of the idea of ensuring that members of Congress and United States senators who are here for public service cannot enrich themselves. Oh, but not him, right? Okay. Sure. And I don't have this clip, but in that same that I've been showing of Vance, JD Vance said that Donald Trump doesn't sit at the Oval Office on his computer on his like Robinhood account buying and selling stocks. That's absurd. You're right. His sons or people in the business do, and they whisper in his ear to effectuate the stocks. I showed you that with receipts yesterday where he did that. The company bought stock in Dell, and in a speech that was specifically about the Trump accounts in regards to children, he said, go out and buy a Dell computer, and their stock went up. Why would he do that? Why would he do that? Maybe because he effectuates the stock and it makes him and his business money? Maybe that's the reason? No? The president does no wrong? He can't? Because we love him, and you can't tell me that he was insider trading because I don't want to listen. Pelosi, la, 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 Pelosi, la, 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 la. Get with it. Grow up. I showed you the disclosure forms. They're available for you. Guys, keep tapping the screen. We are at 28,000 likes at 10:40 when we need to be hitting, what? God, we need to be way closer to 50,000. We need to hit 50,000 in 20 minutes. So I don't know what's going on today. I know it's Wednesday, but I don't know what Wednesday means for not tapping. I don't know how our fingers just gave up and stopped. I don't care whether you use your thumbs or your index fingers. Please do the things you need to do. Guys, if you're over there on YouTube, hit that thumbs up button. I would appreciate it. It does help push us onto the algorithm so that maybe people who are not cowards, who have factual information, will actually be willing to have a conversation about this. Maybe we can get on the same page that we don't like insider trading and we don't like funds to pay for fucking traders. And so much so that the January 6th police officers, I thought thin blue line, right? January 6th police officers sue to block Trump's anti-weaponization fund. Police officers who came under attack by rioters at the Capitol on January 6, 2021, filed a lawsuit Wednesday seeking to halt President Trump's plan to set up a nearly $1.8 billion fund to compensate victims of weaponization and lawfare. In the new lawsuit, oh, awesome. Yes, I love when they hyperlink it. Thank you so much. It's my favorite. primary sources. In the new lawsuit, former Capitol Police Officer Harry Dunn and Metropolitan Police Department Officer Daniel Hodges contend that Trump intends to use the massive bankroll to pay people who organized and participated in the riot. Dunn and Hodges did not back down on January 6th. Instead, they held the line to defend democracy and the rule of law. They bring this case to do so once again. The lawsuit filed in federal district court in Washington argues that the fund violates the 14th Amendment's prohibition on use of federal money to, quote, pay any debt or obligation incurred in aid of insurrection or rebellion against the United States. The officer's complaint also alleges that the Justice Department has no legal authority to create the fund, announced Monday as part of a settlement of a lawsuit Trump filed over a leak of his tax returns during his first term. And we've talked about this over and over and over again, and that is the fact that he sued himself. One, but it's our money that pays for it. And two, I agree, his tax return should never have been fucking leaked. Thank goodness the system works, and the person who was found to have leaked his tax returns is in prison, where they should stay. I agree. He had promised he would release them. He did not because he said he was being audited, but it was still not anybody's right to release it illegally. We could have just kept yelling at him to release him. That was not on anybody to do that. I'm glad that they are in prison for that. Totally fine. However, that does not mean that he gets to settle by creating this slush fund that him and Todd Blanche get to appoint the people to be in charge of to decide who from January 6th gets fucking payment. The Justice Department will likely argue that the officers don't have standing to bring the suit. The complaint contends that Dunn and Hodges have faced ongoing harassment, including death threats from participants in the riot. The officers allege that they have a personal stake in the dispute over the fund because it will be used to provide financial support that is likely to fuel that sort of harassment in the future. There are conspiracy theories going on. And the conspiracy theory, I'm not saying I believe in it, I'm just telling you what I'm hearing in the streets, is that he's paying for a militia. He's paying for a civil militia. That's the conspiracy going around. I'm going to get into that, Jay Bunky. That's next. Ronald, when you can use the right use of "you are," maybe we can have a conversation. And I never said President Trump wasn't the president. I would never say that, because that would be illogical, right? Okay. Thank you. Thank you for having a hyperlink to the actual source. We love that here so much. All right, let's get into what Jay Bunky just brought up. And I love that. Me and Jay Bunky are on the same page today. IRS to drop audits of Trump and family. As part of the Justice Department's deal, officials vowed not to pursue any matters, including those involving President Trump's tax returns, that are pending. The Justice Department has granted President Trump, his family, and businesses immunity from ongoing inquiries into their taxes, a potentially lucrative arrangement that could shield the president from significant financial liability. The provision, quietly inserted on Tuesday as a supplement to a remarkable deal that also created a $1.8 billion fund aimed at benefiting Mr. Trump's allies, protects the president, his relatives, and his businesses from pending audits and tax prosecutions. The one-page document signed by the acting Attorney General Todd Blanche said the government would be, quote, forever barred and precluded from prosecuting or pursuing pending tax claims against Mr. Trump, his family members, and businesses. Can you guys square the circle on that for me? I'll give you a minute. T-Raids, it's not my conspiracy. I was just telling you the conspiracy is out there. I never said I believe it. I'm just saying people are saying that. You guys have a lot of conspiracy theories in QAnon too, but you know. But I didn't put that on you, did I, T-Rads? No, Biden did not give his family immunity from tax fraud. No. And also, his son, was that the one he pled guilty to? I think that was the one he pled guilty to. Because Hunter Biden had 2 charges. He had lying on his application for his gun charge, or for having a gun, because he was a felon. And he had the tax charge, tax fraud. And he pled guilty to one of them. I can't remember. I think it was the tax evasion one. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was. Was it this one? Let's see. Yeah, Hunter Biden. This is again justice.gov. I have no problem with this. I'm not a Hunter Biden fan. Robert Hunter Biden, pleaded guilty in federal court in Los Angeles this afternoon to all counts in a 9-count indictment, including 3 felony tax offenses and 6 misdemeanor tax offenses. There was no plea agreement. Cool. He pled guilty to that. And also, by the way, T-Rads, I'm going to be somebody who says that I didn't like that he pardoned his son. Did not agree with it at all. I don't think that presidential pardons, in way of the president deciding it, should be a thing. If you want to do pardons, I have no problem with that, right? There are people who deserve pardons, who have been wrongfully convicted, or their sentence was too harsh on things like marijuana charges that we now know did not need a life sentence for, right? I don't have any problem with commutations, clemency, and pardons. The issue I have is I would prefer that it's like a committee that's not appointed by the president or his cabinet, but a committee that gets together and decides whether the person is pardoned, kind of like a probation board, right? I would much prefer that than to have any president. I don't agree with presidential pardons. I think that power is way too fucking much for any president. Absolutely not. So, but again, that was a pivot from the fact that Todd Blanche is doing this for the president, which let me show you the actual page. This was one of the places that I found it. Here's the page. Office of the Attorney General, Washington, D.C., May 19, 2026. The settlement agreement in Trump v. Internal Revenue Service, and the number, has created the Anti-Weaponization Fund. The settlement agreement directed the Attorney General to issue an order establishing funding and any other relevant requirements for the fund. Capitalized terms in this document shall have the same meaning as in the settlement agreement. The United States releases, waives, acquits, and forever discharges each of the plaintiffs from, and is hereby forever barred and precluded from prosecuting or pursuing any and all claims, counterclaims, causes of actions, appeals, or requests for any relief, including injunctive relief, monetary relief, damages, examinations, or similar or related reviews, appeals, debt relief, costs, attorney's fees, expenses, and or interest, whether presently known or unknown, that, as of the effective date on the settlement agreement, have been or would have been asserted by defendants against any of the plaintiffs or related or affiliated individuals, including, without limitation, family or others filing jointly, or parties including trusts, parent, sister, or related companies, affiliates, and subsidiaries by reason of, with respect to, in connection with, or which arise out of 1, any matters that were raised or could have been raised in the case or the pending agency claims, 2, lawfare and or weaponization, or 3, any matters currently pending or that could be pending, including tax returns filed before the effective date, before defendants or other agencies or departments. You guys are good with that, though? Because Hunter Biden. That's enough of an excuse for you? Because Hunter Biden. Sure. Sure. It's not law, though, so can be changed and torn up in November. But they can fight it. They can take it to court still. Just because he did that doesn't necessarily mean it can't be sued. And it probably will be. So there's that. Okay. Guys, it is 10:50. What are the likes at? We are at 46,000. You guys are doing it. You guys are doing it. I believe in you. 10 more minutes to get to 50,000 likes. You guys can do it. Thank you so much. I know those fingers are tired, but I promise you that your partners will thank you for it. So thank you so much. Guys, I also have the little chilies. If we could complete those, that would be awesome. Don't forget, I have 6267 left in my goal. If we could start getting that down, that would be wonderful. The links are in my bio. So Cash App, Venmo, and PayPal. Please make sure you're tipping your content creators for the work that we do to put this stuff together and present it to you so that you don't necessarily have to. I can give it to you, but I always advise you guys to find it for yourselves as well. But also, I am running mutual aid. There is a person in our community who needs some help getting their rent together. So we are going to help with that. So if you guys also use the same pay links in my bio, if it's for mutual aid, just make sure you put in there that it is for mutual aid so that we can build up this fund for the member in our community who's always supportive, always there for us, and has great conversations. They just don't go live. And so I would appreciate all the help we can get for that member of our community. Thank you guys so much. Keep doing all the good things. I appreciate you. Congress could defund the program if leadership changes. Right. And I don't see it going well, but, you know. All right, let's go to Trump's losing his mind in front of our face. I just want everybody to know. And so we're gonna show you that Donald Trump is losing his mind in front of our eyes. And so I don't know what you're supporting anymore. So again, back to Donald Trump in front of the ballroom construction. And he's talking about what's going to be built in it. Why would you need this in a ballroom? Is it not? You want to talk about conspiracy theories? This might be the only one in the Discord, or in the Discord, in the conspiracy theory that I believe, which is that it's a bunker. You have a question about it? What about it, Lynatti? What question do you have about them suing for the fund? They just might not have standing, but we'll see how that goes in court. But here's Donald Trump talking about what's going to go in this ballroom. Remember, it's a ballroom.
I want to take a look at the complexity. These are all different rooms down here. They're building a hospital. It's a military hospital.
We're building a military hospital? Lynatti, it's probably gonna, like, law would probably answer that better, but it's probably gonna depend on whether they have standing at all and whether an injunction gets put on it. Like, if it gets an injunction, they can't pay the fund, but then you always go through appeals courts that are like, they can still run the fund while it's going through court. Like, it's gonna depend. Yeah, why would a ballroom need a military hospital? Underneath. It's underneath the ballroom. Why would the ballroom need a military hospital underneath it?
Rooms down here. They're building a hospital. It's a military hospital. They're building all sorts of research facilities, also meeting rooms and rooms that go hand in hand for the military using the ballroom. And the ballroom is really a shield and protecting all of the things that are built here.
The ballroom is a shield to protect all the things built here, like a military hospital, research facilities, and military meeting rooms. There have been, G-Peasy, there have been many additions to the White House throughout time. That's true. With military hospitals and drone-proof bunkers.
This goes, as you see, it's already up to the ground. This goes down very deep. You get a better view right over here. This is down because we've already done these floors. But these are already down 2 floors. That is down about 6 stories deep. That's big stuff. Normally, when you build a ballroom, you build it flat. You just build a ballroom. It would have been built.
You're right. Normally, when you build a ballroom, you build it flat. It would just be built. You're right.
The complexity of this, and again, it's all knit. It's all knit together between the drone proofing, the missile proofing, we have, and the drone capacity upstairs. We can have all sorts of military up, whether, I hate to use the word snipers, but we have great sniper capacity. It's built for our snipers, not the enemy snipers, our snipers. And because of the height.
Who the fuck are we fighting on the White House lawn? It's not anything to complain about, G-Peasy. Are you that unwell? Why does he need a military bunker at the White House? It's for the January 6ers? Yeah, Casey, you're right. You're right. I'm sorry. You're true.
We get a very clear view of...
I just want, if you've never seen the movie Civil War, maybe you should watch it. And no, it's not about Abraham Lincoln.
Everything all over Washington, yeah.
So let's keep going. Then he talks about he talked about it again today. We will get back to him in front of the construction because he talks about the funding in and of itself, which is a fun conversation. But this was him today on some sort of tarmac speaking, and he's talking about the ballroom. He calls it a military complex. Take that in.
Some of them don't know how to win. I know how to win. I think I've proven that, haven't I?
Banana Republic, I don't talk to Nazis. Go away.
Are you worried about the ballroom funding, Mr. President? There's speculation that could be.
The ballrooms are being built. I'm building the ballroom. You saw it yesterday, right?
Yeah.
We're building a great ballroom. It's been needed. It's a very military complex. The roof is actually a drone port. The roof of the ballroom is a drone port.
It's a drone port?
Like
it's
a parking
gonna, or like it's going to release drones out of the top of the ballroom?
Maybe he wants the Super Bowl at the White House next. You know how like the Super Bowl has the drones for fireworks?
True.
I'm just trying to cope right now.
Yeah, no, because he is trying not to leave. He's literally trying not to leave.
And it gives great safety to everything below. It's good. We're building a really great ballroom, but it's also a strong military position for our people.
I just want to highlight a comment from good old rib tip over there on the tubes, who says we're gonna get attacked eventually.
By
Why?
Well, by
Why?
who? By who though?
Well, that's part
with
two.
what capabilities? I thought that we're winning. I thought that we're weakening all these other countries. Who's going to attack us? Who's going to do that? And then here he goes talking about the funding, right? Because remember, originally it was going to cost $200 million, and he was going to fund it himself. Then it was $250 million, but he was starting to get private donations. Then that went on to $300 million, but it was going to be paid for by private donations. And then it was $400 million that he has been donated by private corporations as donation to pay for it. Oh, except for the whole Congress wanted to put a $1 billion taxpayer stipulation for security for his bunker that we would pay to have the security part of the bunker built. Which, by the way, the Senate parliamentarian told him to fuck off because to be fair, it's the rules. It's the amount that they're asking for and the mechanisms of putting it in the reconciliation bill, which is a simple majority, where the Senate parliamentarian is saying that's not following the rules. You cannot do it that way. But in and of itself, again, he lied and said that it would not cost us anything. But apparently now it is.
You mentioned that this is being paid for out of pocket, but why is Congress in pocket? Explain sort of the difference.
Well, they're not. Congress is approving money for security.
No, they're not.
Some of it may go here for additional security. I don't know. But Congress is approving money. But this building, I mean, I put up the money, built this building, along with a lot of great patriots. Have put up a lot of money.
Hold on, sorry, lost all my screens went away. I hate when they do that. Oh my God, come back. But what do you mean some of it? What do you mean? What do you mean some of it? Some of it may go here. That was the entirety of what it was supposed to be for. So what are we talking about? Okay, bring up all of my windows, please. That would be wonderful. I would appreciate it. Thanks so much. Okay, back. But he says some of it. What do you mean? Griffin, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Did you vote for Trump?
Yes, I did.
Okay, can I get your age and what state you voted in, please?
I'm 35, and I'm from Florida.
Okay. Why are you still supporting Trump?
He's doing all the good stuff that needs to get done. Biden completely destroyed the USA.
Great. Okay, cool. Biden destroyed the USA. What is Donald Trump doing?
Took away the lives, took away the jobs from my people.
That's great. What is Donald Trump?
Trump's bringing them back.
How's
Trump's
Donald
putting
Trump?
black lives first.
How's he doing that?
By putting American citizens first.
How?
How the blacks are going to get our jobs back.
How? You're not black. There's no... Turn your camera on.
Do I have camera access? Hold on 1 second.
You sure do. I'll invite you to turn it on. Turn your camera on.
Doing blackface in 2026 is such a sad thing to be doing right now.
It says I don't have camera access
You
yet.
want
I
to
need
fucking bet?
live.
You want to fucking bet? You want to fucking bet? Invite to turn on camera. I wouldn't be able to do that if you didn't have camera access. Turn your camera on. I'll post that picture in the Discord. You want to fucking bet? Turn your camera on. Coward.
It says I can't turn on the camera.
Yeah, you
That's
can.
a lie, because I wouldn't be able to invite you if you
Should I
couldn't.
send a screen? Should I send a screenshot? It says live
Sure.
access not. Okay, I'm gonna send a screenshot.
Sure.
1 sec.
I don't know how you're gonna. Sure.
You gonna run away? Again, doing black.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
there
what
it
the fuck I thought.
goes.
That's what the fuck I thought. That's what the fuck I thought. That's what the fuck I thought. Yeah, no, it's definitely the same guy. For sure. It's definitely the same guy. Because he keeps calling. I don't know why you would think you're coming back up here. Anyway. So, yeah, Donald Trump talking about that money that he said we weren't going to be paying. Some of it may go for the ballroom. Where the fuck's the rest of it going to go? Because that's what it was fucking meant to be. Let's move on to more of him losing his mind in real time. Okay, never been to DC. I've never been to the East Coast like that. So I don't know. I know the ones I know. I know the Lincoln Memorial. I know the Washington Monument. I know the Reflecting Pool. I Googled yesterday because I wanted to make sure I wasn't insane. He starts talking about the Reflecting Lake and how it was closed, that Obama spent millions of dollars on a reflecting lake that was then closed. I wanted to make sure that I wasn't crazy and that there wasn't a lake in Washington, D.C. called the Reflecting Lake. I just wanted to make sure. There's not. He's just losing his mind.
She's really saying, why do they hate you for fixing the water fountains? So, you know, we have 40. I know. Because I want to see Washington be beautiful. To me, it's very important. But as an example, you mentioned the water fountain. We didn't have one water fountain, and I think we have 40. We didn't have one in Washington that worked. And soon they'll all be working. Many of them work right now. And I think one of the best things, President Obama, President Biden spent much more than $100 million on the reflecting lake.
Okay. So Obama and Biden spent over $100 million on the reflecting lake.
Between the...
Yeah, no, Davo, him talking about water fountains as a deconstructing white person. I felt things.
The Lincoln Memorial and the Washington Monument, they spent much more. They spent, some people say, $200 million. You know what they got out of it? A closed...
G-Peasy, I was not sure. He said lake. Why the fuck did he say lake? He lives there. I don't live there. I've never been to D.C. There could be a fucking lake. I don't know. I don't fucking live there. So I Googled it to make sure I wasn't crazy, but I'm not. He is. Every president has built an addition to D.C. Hey, Ruben, before you go, welcome in, Ruben. Before you go, did you happen to hear where he calls it a military complex and says it has a drone port and they're building a military hospital? Did you happen to see that, Ruben? I'll wait.
Let me know when I can do it. I'm already ready.
Ruben? It's necessary. The military complex, go ahead. The military complex is necessary.
Sandwich.
Bye, sandwich, because remember, sweetheart, you're still not here, and you still be wasting your fucking comments. But remember, if you are in the YouTube chat, the Twitch chat, if you guys have ops over there, you rarely do, and I love you guys for that, your little calm space. I love it. But if you're on the YouTube chat and you have dumb fucks you no longer want to listen to, or if you're in the TikTok chat and you have dumb fucks you no longer want to listen to, like Ruben, you can mute them.
Do you want someone muted in the chat? Is there someone who's spamming, making disingenuous arguments, displaying bot behavior, or maybe they're just a dumb bitch? Well, you can keep them muted and contribute to their degradation kink. But remember, while we don't kink shame, it is perfectly acceptable to kink ask why. You can keep them muted for as little as $2 a day, $7 a week, or $25 a month. Pay links in the bio.
Cool. Ruben's gonna be in that purgatory for a while. So yes, it is Eli. Thank you, Eli, for my wonderful, wonderful. I have a mod announcement. I've got a specific Ruben PSA, and I have a generic one. So thank you so much for that. So again, he called it a lake. He said Obama and Biden spent over $100 million for the projects.
Lake, it never opened, and when it did,
and the lake never opened.
Shut right away. It leaked. It was a disaster.
Now, it did leak. That's true. It's the only true thing, and I'll show you.
I'm doing a job on the reflecting lake for a fraction of what they paid. Now I've upgraded.
And now here's the thing. As GPZ wants to keep calling me out for not knowing Washington, D.C., a place I've never been to, and looking up whether they have a lake or not, it could have been a mistake of him saying it, except he's said it 4 fucking times now.
I got so into it. I've upgraded it like you wouldn't believe. I'm doing all the walkways outside. I'm doing it properly. But it's a much bigger job. But you see it's happening now. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be waterproof. It's going to be reflecting again. I took over a dirty, filthy thing that wasn't open, and it was disgusting. And friends of mine would come to the Lincoln or the Washington, and they'd say, "Sir, it's disgusting." I said, "What's disgusting?" The reflecting lake. So I drove down. I looked.
Yes, it's going to be It's going to be waterproof. I forgot he said that. Oh, crap, I did it again. How do I keep doing that? How do I keep doing that with my stuff? Okay.
But it's a much bigger job. But you see it's happening now. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be waterproof. It's going to be reflecting again. I took over a dirty, filthy thing that wasn't open, and it was disgusting. And friends of mine would come to the Lincoln or the Washington, and they'd say,
no, Blue, it's not a waterproof pool. It's a waterproof lake. Duh.
Wait, what?
You didn't hear him say it's going to be waterproof?
I heard it. I didn't think I listened to it.
He's upgraded it. It's going to be waterproof.
I'm going to go back to cleaning.
"Sir, it's disgusting." I said, "What's disgusting?" The reflecting lake. So I drove down. I looked with Secretary Burgum, who's fantastic, of Interior. He's fantastic. And we got together. And we have, it's under construction right now. I want to get it open before July 4th, which we'll easily be able to do. It'll be open before that, but easily be able to do. The July 4th being a very special day. And it is going to be beautiful. Beautiful blue color, dark blue color.
Which, by the way, in case you don't know, makes it less reflective.
It's very reflective. I put a thing out yesterday showing the reflection. We did a little test. We wanted to see it. It's unbelievable. It's like a mirror.
Did it look good? Did it work?
It's like a mirror.
It's like a mirror. Yeah, every time he starts a story with "they said, sir," he's lying. Every single time. But it's fine because it's the reflecting lake that he's going to make waterproof. Oh, no, wait, it's the fucking pool. Anyway, reflecting pool repairs appear uneven and behind schedule, officials say. Interior Department staff members have raised concerns about the quality and speed of the repair work that a contractor is performing on the Lincoln Memorial Reflecting Pool in Washington, according to government documents seen by the New York Times. The staff members said that bubbles and small holes had appeared in one of the layers meant to waterproof the iconic pool. An uneven application of the tinted waterproofing left the pool mottled in varying shades of blue, the documents indicate. The documents say both issues were being addressed, but they raise the possibility that the work may not be finished by the government's deadline of May 22nd. It's the 20th, babe. That would be an ironic, which is why he pushed it, right? July 4th. That would be an ironic turn of events, given that the federal bidding laws were skirted because the government had argued there was an urgent need to have it ready before the country's 250th anniversary celebrations. The reflecting pool has been plagued for decades by problems with leaks and algae blooms. That's true. Last month, the Interior Department hired a Virginia firm, Atlantic Industrial Coatings, to repair, resurface, and paint the pool. President Trump said publicly that he had recommended the firm because of good work it did on the swimming pools, as at one of his golf clubs. However, Mr. Trump did an about-face early Tuesday, distancing himself from the company. I didn't give out the contract, Interior did, to a contractor I did not know and have never used before, Mr. Trump wrote in a post on his Truth Social platform. He lied again. We're fucking shocked. Asked to explain Mr. Trump's reversal, White House said something. Let's get to where he was talking about Obama and Biden, because that's what we want to talk about. Where is it? Okay. Already, the contract with Atlantic Industrial Coatings has cost much more than Mr. Trump promised. The president said last week that the work would be done for $1.8 million. In his social media post early Tuesday, he increased that estimate to $5 million or $6 million. But public records, updated as of Friday, show the contract will cost at least $13.1 million. The Times reported on Friday that the reflecting pool, originally built in 1920, oh my God, I can't talk because I can hear myself, built in 1922 to reflect the beauty of the Lincoln Memorial and the Washington Monument on the National Mall, has caused consternation for several administrations. It's been a constant problem. The Obama administration spent more than $35 million over several years trying to solve problems with algae buildup and leakage, but they persisted. Oh, so where's the $100 million Donald Trump claimed? Because he said they spent over $100 million. Where's that? Where's the proof of that? No? Oh, okay. Now here's Biden. During the Biden administration, the National Park Service, which is part of the Interior Department, took bids for more comprehensive rehaul to fix the problems. But the director of Park Service at the time, Charles F. Sams III, said they postponed the plan when the estimates came in above $100 million. So they took bids, and the bids were saying it's going to cost upwards of $100 million, and yet Biden's administration said, no, we're not doing that because it's too much. Interesting. Why don't you guys care? Like, I don't understand the fucking glazing. I don't get it. Law, why do you do this to me? W Law for the 1481. You said math time. I just want you to know that I cheat. You're not.
W Law.
So W's to law, please. You're not going to have a calculator in your pocket when you're an adult. The fuck I won't. Are we reversing it, Law? That's crazy. W's to law for the 4786 brings us down to 4786. Thank you so much. So we still get 8647. Law, why are you going to make Todd Blanche come after me like that? Why would you do that? That's rude. Why would you do that? So W's to law. Thank you so much, guys. Make sure we are still getting our chili peppers out. We need to get those accomplished and get those the fuck out of here. And don't forget, we are still doing mutual aid. So if you send anything into the bio that said it's for mutual aid, that will get sent. You'll represent me for the fun of it. Yes. I'm so excited. To make sure that we are helping with people in our community who do need help. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. We're going to keep doing that until the goal is reached. Okay? All right. Trump said some things today. And again, I just want to show you that this man is losing his mind in real time. He is talking about elections in California. I don't even know that there's much to explain to this. I guess just listen. So, Cowboy in the tube chat, I'm not saying that facelifting is not appropriate. It is. The problem I have is that they did a no-bid contract, and the only reason they were able to get around the legality of doing a no-bid contract is because they said it was urgent and needed, and they said they were going to get it done with $1.8 million. That has now ballooned to $13 million, not on schedule. Again, Donald Trump was the one who picked the contract out and bragged that he picked the contract from somebody he knew. Now he's saying he didn't pick this person. So, like, the issue I have is with the way that it's not transparent. That's the issue I have, is with it not being transparent. W's to Sebastian for the $5 super chat for the mutual aid fund. I will add that in here. Thank you so much. Let me go to here. And now that goes up to 20. Thank you so much, Sebastian, for that mutual aid fund super chat. I appreciate you. So anyway, Donald Trump is talking about the California elections, and I'm just going to let it play because I don't know. Maybe you guys can figure out what's happening with him. Dementia Dawn is at it again.
You have a rigged vote out there. That's the problem. The votes are rigged.
You have a really rigged vote in California. You have all the mail-in ballots, everything else. Very hard to win because the elections are very dishonest. If we had Jesus Christ come down and count the votes, I would have won California because I do great with Hispanics. But it's a rigged vote.
What?
All the mail-in ballots, everything else. Very hard to win because the elections are very dishonest. If we had Jesus Christ come down and count the votes, I would have won California because I do great with Hispanics. But it's a rigged vote. They sent out 38 million votes. Nobody knows where they're going. If you have a rigged...
And that's not true. He's lying about that. There's literally been no evidence of rigged elections. This is this morning. I found this morning. But Jesus Christ is going to come down and count the votes? If Jesus Christ comes down? That's interesting.
Look, I knew Manny was good at his job, and he said he got a promotion. I didn't know that was his new promotion now.
I guess so. He's counting votes. Hi, Greg. How are you today?
I'm good. That's because Jesus Christ would have counted them incorrectly without
Do
the
you
fraud
have a better
that we see
hobby,
in California.
dude?
How many accounts do you have?
26.
Cool.
Thanks for asking.
Cool. Cool. Because Jesus Christ would have counted them correctly. How were they counted incorrectly? My thing with you guys who believe this, they have shown you no evidence. They have literally shown you no evidence. You just believe it. And the only reason you believe it is because you have sunk cost fallacy in Donald Trump. Because I promise you that you do not have more information than his lawyers have, and his lawyers have not shit. Nothing. What could you possibly have that his lawyers don't have? Over 60 court cases. The only person, okay, who came out with evidence was the guy who was the creator of 10,000 Mules. And even he came out and had to apologize and say, I didn't fucking have any information. I made that up. No, cowboy, no ID to vote doesn't mean anybody can vote. And that's not what anybody's saying. What do you have to do to register to vote, cowboy? Do you know? In your state, what do you need to register to vote? Cowboy, do you know the Heritage Foundation by chance? Do you know that they keep track of fraudulent voting and how it's not happening in an amount that would rig an election? In California, nothing. Really? All right. Register to vote in California. Let's just see what they ask for. Okay. Let me go back just so you can see. California voter registration. Let's see. Register to vote. I just want to see what they ask you for. I am one of the following: a U.S. citizen and resident of California, or a U.S. citizen and a member of uniformed services, U.S. citizen, U.S. citizen, U.S. citizen, U.S. citizen. You have to click one. All right. Cool. I'm a U.S. citizen. Again, you have to say it again. I am 18 years or older. Your legal name, so first name, middle name, last name, email address, confirm, phone number, date of birth, U.S. state territory, so like where you were born, what state you were born, identification, California driver's license or California identification card number. SpaghettiOs! SpaghettiOs! Social Security, last four. SpaghettiOs! Cowboy. Oh. Yeah, but Social Security numbers aren't. Wade, they check those. And did you know, Wade, that the driver's license or identification cards that are given to non-citizens or undocumented immigrants specifically say not for voting on them? Did you know that? Did you know that they say not for use in elections? Did you know that? Okay. Glad we could get there. Donald Trump keeps on with more dementia, and he's going to talk about they also check to see if you're a felon. Yes, this is also true. They will ask you, too, in the form. I'm just not going to be able to get that far because I'm not a resident of California, so I can't register to vote in California. Interesting. But here's Donald Trump talking about the 13 service members that we had die, and it's fine because he, quote, gets a kick out of when he hears it. I don't fight. Chris, wait, real quick before we get into this. I would love to have you call, Chris, if you can. I'm not against regular ID to vote. That's not what the bill is. That's not what the Save America Act requires. Your regular license that you get is not enough. Did you know that? Did you read the Save America Act? No? Okay. Trump fucked my mom? I doubt it. Oh, maybe he did because he is a adjudicated rapist. So I guess maybe there is that. But it's fine because Donald Trump gets a kick out of 13 service members dying.
You lost hundreds of thousands of soldiers in these various wars. In 2 wars, Venezuela, where we lost nobody, and here, we lost 13 people. Now, 13 people is 13 too much, but we lost 13 people. In other wars, you lost hundreds of thousands of people. So
it's only 13. In other wars, you lose hundreds of thousands.
People don't like it when you say, oh, do you know you've lost 13? We've lost in 2 major wars. We took over Venezuela. We essentially took over Iran. And we've lost so far 13 people. Some other...
I don't like that he says so far. I don't want to lose any more. Isn't that enough?
Somebody else would have lost 100,000 people. Okay?
Oh, praise him. Praise him because somebody else in the office would have lost a lot more. We only lost 13. Also, yeah, major war.
But I get a kick when I look at somebody on television. He's lost 13 people. I lost 13 people.
I get a kick. Oh, don't worry. He's not done. This picks up right where he left off.
But I get a kick when I look at somebody on television. He's lost 13 people. I lost 13 people. They lost 13 people leaving an airport. Obama, 13 very good.
They lost 13 people leaving an airport. Obama. This man is not okay. Please prove to me that you guys are smarter than the man whose taint you are glazing. Please. Please show me that you are a genuine human being. I never said Biden was better. He's not talking about Biden life wells. He's talking about Obama. He said Obama. Nothing? What about Biden? We're talking about Joe Biden. Cool. Mm-hmm. Yes, the Obama pullout. The pullout Obama did. HM says, why are you not in the kitchen making sandwiches? Thank you for the $2 super chat to send that. I can make you one. If do you like aqua tofana by chance? I make really, really good aqua tofana sandwiches. I'm doing exactly what you guys want me to do. The Republican wet dream I am. I'm a stay-at-home mother. And yet, oh no. How dare she? Anyway, Obama, the Obama pullout.
I lost 13 people. They lost 13 people leaving an airport. Obama, 13 very good people that I got to know their families. So what we've done is...
Actually, specifically just a few of the families, because some of the other families specifically told you to fuck off and not to film by their kid's grave, which you violated the rules of Arlington to do. Do we not remember that? Okay.
Amazing. And we have them decimated. Iran is decimated.
But the Obama pullout, and he gets a kick out of it when they say 13. That's how he respects our troops. That's how he's losing his mind. What the fuck are we talking about Obama for? No? Nothing? Okay. Then, he's talking about China, and he's being like a fucking middle schooler. Yeah, and the Strait of Hormuz is still closed. You're right, R. Baron. We didn't decimate shit. But he's talking about China. Remember, he just got back from China. And he speaks like a middle schooler. Putin just went there. And we're going to talk about that. But he says, I topped them? What the fuck does that mean?
I don't know if the ceremony was quite as brilliant as mine. I watched. I think.
So he's talking about the ceremony that China had to when Putin landed. I didn't see that. I'm not going to talk about that part. We're just going to talk about what actually happened when Putin was there.
I don't know if the ceremony was quite as brilliant as mine. I watched. I think we topped them. Good team. I don't know if the ceremony.
We topped it. We topped him. Good team. Oh, I know what topped means in that circumstance, but I mean, that's for him to deal with his deconstruction of coming out of the closet. That has nothing to do with me. I know who I am. I'm on the right track, baby. I was born this way. That has nothing to do with me. That's on him. He can work on that with a therapist. I am not that. So, yeah, mine was bigger than his. Ooh. Cowboy, I don't think Iran is winning. I think nobody's winning. We are in a fucking stalemate that he can't get out of. But it's fine. Because, remember, we watched the videos from Donald Trump coming back from his summit with Xi, and he was asked specifically by Hannity what we got out of that, and he said, our relationship, which to me means not shit. Besides the fact, supposedly they're buying 200 planes from Boeing. That doesn't help us. Supposedly they're going to be buying from NVIDIA. That doesn't help us. Not the American people. But it's okay, because I haven't seen any signed deals. But they sure the fuck did with Putin. Putin and Xi hailed their friendship and growing energy trade at their meeting in Beijing. Chinese leader Xi Jinping and Russian President Vladimir Putin hailed their strategic ties and growing energy trade as they met in Beijing Wednesday, only days after a visit by U.S. President Trump to China. Putin and Xi oversaw the signing of more than 40 cooperation agreements in areas such as trade, technology, and media exchanges. They stressed their growing trade, particularly in oil and natural gas. I thought they were buying oil from us. I thought China was going to buy oil from Texas. Wait, Donald Trump told me that they were going to send Chinese ships to Texas to get our oil. They stressed their growing trade, particularly in oil and natural gas, and declared themselves aligned on international relations. It's almost as if Trump made it up. By the way, when Donald Trump announced that China was supposedly going to come get oil from us, the oil raised up to like $105 per barrel for crude. Because they were anticipating being able to make money off of China, except apparently they're not. Their deals are going to be with Russia. The country's ties have reached, quote, the highest level in history, Xi said after the signing ceremony, speaking to members of the delegations and journalists. The two sides also agreed to extend a friendship treaty, first signed in 2001. Did Donald Trump get a friendship treaty? Did he? I don't think he did. Did he? Putin told those in the room that, quote, the driving force behind economic cooperation is Russia-Chinese collaboration in the energy sector. Amid the crisis in the Middle East, Russia continues to maintain its role as a reliable supplier of resources, while China remains a responsible consumer of these resources, Putin added, in apparent reference to the U.S.-Iran war, which thanks to us, we have made easier because Scott Bessent signed another pause on the sanctions we had on Russian oil. So Russia is now allowed to sell their oil to the world markets. So I don't think China is sending any motherfucking ships here. I think they're just going to send them to Russia, who now has the green light, thanks Trump, to sell their oil. He didn't even get a friendship bracelet. Not even a fortune cookie. I agree with that, Richard. He's isolating us to where if we do get attacked and he's sitting in his little fucking bunker, nobody's going to come help us. An early end to the conflict will help reduce disruptions to energy supply stability, the smooth flow of industrial and supply chains, and international trade order, Xi said. In the evening, Xi and Putin had a conversation over tea in the Great Hall of the People, where the Chinese leader expressed confidence in continuing to strengthen the relationship between the two countries, according to state media. Putin later left for the airport and departed on his official plane. And then this goes into their trade relationship and how it's been building. Specifically in regards to the Ukraine war. They're united on international affairs. So where's this friend? What did we get out of this? What did we get out of this? Anybody? Yeah, no, the bunker is to keep away from us. I absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. All right, guys, it is 11:30. We are at, what's the likes at? I can't see it. 85,000 likes. You guys are rocking it. I know we can hit 100,000 before we end today, so thank you guys so much for that. I'm going to figure out what section I'm going to go to next. Maybe Iran. Maybe we'll just go to Iran. Yeah, a relationship, DJ Bookie was a relationship. Guys, I have 4786 left in my goal. I have Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, all the links in my bio. If we could start knocking that down with the 30 minutes left that we have to go, I would appreciate it. Again, remember, we are running a mutual aid fund for a friend in the community who needs help with some rent. They are out, they're not getting paid by their job right now after surgery. And so we need to help them to be able to ensure that they're getting that help to pay their rent. Okay. So we have 20. Thank you guys so much for starting the fund at $20. I appreciate it. You can send those also. Thank you, Rory, for the gold medal. I appreciate that. You guys can send that money to my Cash App, my Venmo, my PayPal. If it is for the mutual fund, make sure you write in there that it is for the mutual fund so it does not go to my goal and it will go to the mutual fund goal, okay? And like I said, I'm going to send the daily amounts to the person that we're getting it to, and I will show you a receipt with whatever needs to be blacked out or blurred out in the Discord for you guys to see, okay? To make sure that we are 100%, that transparency thing Donald Trump doesn't do. Going to make sure that we do that, okay? All right. Let's move to Iran, I guess. So Donald Trump, this was last week, Donald Trump had a hissy fit about the fact that the fake news isn't talking about his total military victory. Again, if it was a total military victory, we would not be there right now. The strait would not be closed right now, and yet it is. But, you know, he's going to cry because he's not getting glazed, because that's all he knows how to do.
Repeating the bombing, you did it for 38 days. Well, no, we did, and you did not get the political changes in Iran. No, I had a total military victory, but the fake news, guys like you write incorrectly. You're a fake guy, and guys like you write about it.
He looks pretty real to me. Looks pretty real. Where's the total military victory? Where is that? Anybody? Oh, his rosebush seeds. I'm sorry, Troy. You're right. Somebody else said that too. And I apologize. Harry also said that. You're right. He did get rosebush seeds. Okay. You're right. I guess that is what we got out of it.
We had a total military victory. We knocked out their entire Navy. We knocked out their entire Air Force.
Then how come they're still blowing up ships? Why is the strait still closed?
We knocked out all of their anti-aircraft weaponry. We knocked out all of their radar. We knocked out all of their leaders, number one, and then we knocked out all of their leaders in the 2nd Division, and we knocked out numerous of their leaders in the 3rd Division. And they're very confused. We've had a total victory, except like...
Which is funny that he says they're very confused, because not even like 2 weeks ago, he was on a tarmac again speaking before he got on a plane, and he said that we don't really know who's in charge right now. So who's fucking confused? Them? You're confused? I'm fucking confused, bro. Like, who the fuck is confused? Yeah, total victory. Except...
people like you that don't write the truth. You know, you should write. I actually think it's sort of some treasonous what you write, but you and the New York Times and CNN, I would say, are the worst. Right.
So on another war,
you should know better. You know, you're a professional. You know better. Your editors tell you what to write, and you write it. You should be.
Purpose, if you don't know that that's a line from Euphoria, I don't know what to tell you. Are you a boomer?
There's another war. I actually think it's treason. When you write like they're doing well militarily and they have no Navy, no Air Force, no anti-anything. By the way, we knocked out 85% of their manufacturing for missiles. We knocked out everything. We haven't knocked out other than one bridge, and we did because they misbehaved. But we have bridges we could knock out. We could knock out their bridges and their electrical capacity within 2 days.
Yeah, except that you can't, because that violates the Geneva Convention. You can't do that. You cannot bomb civilian infrastructure. Exactly, Cass. That's a fucking war crime. You can't do that.
Knock out the whole thing. And then I read the New York Times and they act like they're doing well. And everybody knows that. That's why your subscribers are way down. You know, the Times subscribers are way down because it's fake news.
Did you discuss Ukraine?
Way down, way down.
Did you discuss Ukraine?
Just called you a boomer? I didn't call you a boomer. Oh, because you didn't understand the reference? Well, what do you want? What? Never mind. I'm gonna shut up. God. Let me get this breaking news real quick, but real quick. W's to Sheriff Branford, because that's the name I'm going to use. That's the name you gave me. That's your YouTube name. Thank you so much. W's to Sheriff Branford for the $20 for mutual fund. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. The community appreciates you. That's going right into this little number. Mutual fund. Thank you so much, Sheriff Branford. We appreciate that so very much. Okay. Let's go to this. I'm going to show this breaking news and we'll get back into Iran for the little bit of time left. We saw this. They talked about doing it. They're doing it. U.S. indicts Cuba's Raul Castro on murder and conspiracy charges for downing of planes in 1996. Not getting Epstein. We're not getting people who associated and trafficked children with Epstein. We're going after somebody who's not even the leader of Cuba anymore. Former Cuban leader Raul Castro and 5 others have been indicted by a U.S. grand jury in Florida in connection with the Cuban military's fatal downing of 2 planes 30 years ago. FBI Director Kash Patel confirmed the federal criminal charges against the 94-year-old Castro, brother of the late Fidel Castro, and widely seen as one of Cuba's most powerful figures, mark an escalation in the Trump administration's pressure campaign against the Cuban government. Castro served as president of Cuba from 2008 to 2018. Why didn't we get him in? And as the top official of the country's Communist Party from 2011 to 2021. CBS News was first to report. I don't care about that. Glaze yourself later. Castro was charged in South Florida with conspiracy to kill U.S. nationals, 4 counts of murder, and 2 counts of destruction of aircraft, according to court papers released Wednesday. The exact contents of the indictment aren't clear. A judge on Wednesday granted a motion to unseal a superseding indictment against Castro, but the indictment itself has not yet been made public. The other defendants include a fighter pilot who was initially charged in connection with the 1996 shootdown more than 2 decades ago. It's not clear whether Castro will ever stand trial since Cuba does not extradite people to the United States. But as they bring up, former Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro was indicted on drug charges in 2020. Earlier this year, he was captured by U.S. forces and flown to New York for trial. So I would not be surprised. Yeah, no, absolutely, Jay Bunky. I would not be surprised if we see a mission to go in and take Raul Castro. Because that's what we're doing now. We're just doing that now. That's fucking great. Not catching people who molested children. No, we wouldn't do that. But we're going to pat ourselves on the back and give ourselves claps for going after a 94-year-old fucking man. Okay, sure, whatever. Donald Trump was talking with, who was this with? This was Hannity. And he's talking to him about the enriched uranium. He keeps talking about it, right? They can't have a nuclear weapon. They can't have a nuclear weapon, which they've never had. Yeah, I know, our Baron, they're not, the enrichment is where you would get the nuclear material for a bomb. And yet Donald Trump says he doesn't think it's necessary to retrieve it. I'm confused. Why are we there again?
It's a big project. To get it, it's a big project.
Do you feel there's been people that have, and generals that I've spoken to, that think you have to get the dust, which is the enriched uranium, or have you been told there may be a way to entomb it that they could never get to it?
So we were thinking about doing it early on, and it would take a while. It would take a week and a half. That's a long time to be in enemy territory. No, you got to move these massive amounts of granite. You know, it's granite's the hardest stone. It's amazing that it's those were really powerful bombs that we used. And don't forget, we hit it on top of that. We hit tomahawks on top of that. No, I don't think it's necessary, except from a public relations standpoint. I think it's important for the fake news that we get it.
But I thought you guys have been yelling at me this entire time about the fact that we need to be there because of the enriched uranium that they have. But Donald Trump now just said it is not necessary to retrieve it. Except for from a PR standpoint, which is PR is how you represent publicly because of the fake news and how they're going to report it to the people. Are you guys okay? You guys are fighting a battle he's not fighting now. You guys have been coming up and yelling at me and Olive and Hector and Erica and Matt. You've been yelling at everybody for weeks, months now, since he started this, that we needed to destroy it and we need to get out all the enriched uranium. Apparently, we don't. Apparently, it's not necessary.
You know what? Those were really powerful bombs that we used. And don't forget, we hit it on top of that. We hit Tomahawks on top of that. No, I don't think it's necessary, except from a public relations standpoint. I think it's important for the fake news that we get it. I'm the one that said we're going to get it, and we're going to get it. We have our eye on it. So Space Force was my creation.
You just renamed the Air Force dumb fuck. You just renamed the Air Force.
Do you know how much money that cost us when he opened, quote unquote, opened the Space Force?
So stupid.
And best part, I don't know if you remember this, Monty, but Space Force got sued by Star Trek for their fucking logo.
Oh yeah, that's true. G Peasy, you said allow yourself to be divided by lefty propaganda. What propaganda? I'm playing his words. What propaganda? Literally what I do is I play videos of him talking. What fucking propaganda?
I did that in my first term. It's going to end up going down as one of the most important of all of our military.
So it can be entombed.
Yeah, it can be.
With eyes on it.
It can be, but I'd rather get it, to be honest with you. It can be, a lot of things can happen, and even despite the statement that, they can't get it, they are, first of all, if we left right now, it would take Iran 25 years to rebuild, and it can never be like it was. It would take 25 years.
So then let's leave. How about that?
I would rather get it, but we have our eyes on it. We know exactly what's happening there. We had the other day, there was a man that tried to get into the chute. We saw there was a door that was blown to smithereens, and we know everything that's happening. If they ever moved on, and I told them that, if they send a force over there to try, where I see somebody's trying, all we'll do is just hit it with a couple of bombs, and that's going to be the end of that. They won't do it. I said, we have.
So we're going to be over there forever to ensure that they don't try to get the enriched material that apparently we are not necessary to need to get. That's what we're going to do?
9 cameras on that site, on those 3 sites, 24 hours a day. We know exactly what's happening. Nobody's even gotten close to it. They looked at it at the beginning and they said...
Also that, just skipping over any congressional authorization. He just thinks he can just do whatever the fuck he wants.
There's no way that anybody can ever get down to the nuclear dust.
You think it's...
But I'd still rather have it. I'd rather
so now we can't get to it.
I just feel better if I got it, actually. But I think it's more for public relations than it is for anything else.
Okay, so then I don't want to hear you guys ever say that we need to get it ever again. I just want to make that clear, because your president said we don't need it. So I don't want to fucking hear it ever again. Ever. Who is this? So this is Mark Kelly, Senator Mark Kelly, and he's asking the same questions that we keep asking, which is, what did we get out of this war? What did we get out of it? As Lanati says, as she's yelling at you, rightly so, guys, we are almost to 100,000 likes with 125 of you in here. Let's make sure we are doing that. Let's get to 100,000 likes before I end. I have 15 minutes left. And guys, make sure we're still working on all of the things. I've got the little finger hearts. Let's try and get some of those accomplished. Get that knocked the fuck out. Finish out my goal today and keep adding to the mutual fund. Please make sure we are doing all of the good and wonderful things as we are here in this community. I would appreciate it. So here is Mark Kelly.
What he's trying to avoid is accountability for his actions. 15,000 strikes, 13 Americans dead, 165
Oh, don't worry, Mark Kelly. It's just 13.
little kids in a school dead. Strait of Hormuz closed. Gas in Phoenix approaching $5 a gallon. I think today it's like $4.80. What did we get out of this? I mean, we have an incompetent Secretary of Defense. He has no idea what he's doing. And he used these munitions just to...
Right, Richard, $29 billion as an estimate. That's like a low-end estimate. $29 billion blown in the wind, and Iran still has uranium, albeit supposedly underground, that the President of the United States says is now not necessary to get except for PR.
Set records. We actually talked about that. We set a new record today. It's not the way...
Aw, gee peasy, a socialist Democrat party would never win an election ever, except Zoran Mamdani did. Oops. Except Bernie Sanders won his Senate seat. Oops.
A DOD should be managed, ever. And Hegseth, the president, they don't want to be held accountable for this. They've run out of ideas.
They have run out of ideas, and they're looking for a way out. And the way out is now going to be this distraction of putting out an indictment on Raul Castro of Cuba. That's what we're going to do. Chicky, I'm so sorry you woke up to a nap to that. They indicted Raul Castro of Cuba, so that's probably an incoming operation. Love that. Love that. Okay. This is former director of the CIA and former Secretary of Defense Robert Gates talking about how he had meetings with Netanyahu, where Netanyahu said that Iran would crumble quickly. And he told him, no, you're wrong on this. So again, just as a reminder, Netanyahu has been pitching this, a war with Iran by the United States and with our help, for decades. And everybody said no until Donald Trump, because he's an idiot. W's to TikTok chatters. Thank you so much for hitting 100,000 likes over on TikTok. Thank you guys. I appreciate you. I know we had to yell at you a little bit, but I think you like it. But thank you for being good boys, girls, and they, them pals. I appreciate you guys for tapping so much. Guys, if you're on YouTube and you would like to, please hit that thumbs up. It does really help push me and the videos that I make out onto the algorithm as well. Yes, Lenati. Check the betting markets to see if the capture of Raul Castro's on. I bet it is. Okay. Poly market. Let's see. There's different bets. God damn. All right. Hold on. Let me bring this on the screen. This is Poly market. Ex-Cuba leader Raul Castro in U.S. custody by June 30th. It's been low. The yes has still been yesing, but it's been very low. What's it right now? Uh-oh, it's starting to go up. I wonder why it's starting to go up. Could it be because they did the indictment? Could it be that? Interesting. You like dirty talk too, DJ Boogie? Look, sometimes they like to be dommy mommy degraded, and I get it. I totally understand. No? Okay. Well, remember, Netanyahu's been pitching this. It's going up. And Donald Trump was the idiot who said yes.
And is he now? He told me all those things in July of 2009, and I told him then he was dead wrong. That he was underestimating the resilience of the Iranians, that I thought he had been lulled into an unrealistic position by the absence of an Iraqi reaction when the Israelis destroyed the Osirak reactor in Iraq. He'd been lulled by the Syrian lack of reaction when Israel destroyed their reactor. That was during the second Bush administration. But this is the war he's been trying to sell for years. And I told him that this notion that he was saying then, the regime is fragile. This is 2009. The regime is fragile. It'll crumble at the first attack, and they won't have time to do anything else. I told him then he was wrong. And is he now?
But Trump fell for it. And as we can see, it's not going well, which is why we're still fucking there. Donald Trump wants people to glaze him for a military victory that's not completed. So then I have a couple more clips. Admiral Bradley Cooper was in front of Congress yesterday. And so this is Representative Moulton having a conversation with Admiral Bradley specifically about words. Words, you know, guys, definitions and words. Remember, definitions are descriptive, not prescriptive. I'm so sorry to tell you that. And all words are made up. However, Donald Trump continually used the word obliterated. When it came to Midnight Hammer, it was obliterated. When it came to Epic Fury, I guess we obliterated it a second time. I didn't know you could do that if it was already obliterated. Admiral Cooper uses the term in his report significantly degraded, which is not the same as obliterated. And so Moulton is trying to get to the bottom of that. Hey, Admiral Bradley Cooper, what's the difference? And can you explain to me the difference?
Admiral Cooper, you keep using the term significantly degraded. Last summer, we were told that Iran's nuclear weapons program was obliterated. Can you clarify the distinction between obliterated and significantly degraded?
Congressman, again, I think appropriate to talk about anything regarding the Iranian nuclear program.
No. I'm not asking you to talk about the Iran nuclear program. I'm asking you to talk about English language. What's the difference between obliterated and significantly degraded? Are they the same?
Congressman, anything regarding the nuclear program.
I'm not asking you to talk about the nuclear program, Admiral.
He's literally not asking you about the nuclear program. He's asking you about the terms you're using. You are saying that Iran's nuclear program was significantly degraded, whereas the Trump administration is saying it was obliterated. Which one is it? Can you describe it, please?
I'm asking you to answer a question that applies to a lot of things beyond the nuclear program. You've also said that their ballistic missile program was significantly degraded. What does that mean?
The specific numbers are best as you know from your own.
Well, President Trump's own national security strategy, which he signed in December, 5 months ago, used the exact same phrase, significantly degraded. So if this was true back then, 5 months ago, then why did we start this war? Was he lying to us then?
Congressman, from a military perspective, anything regarding
Admiral, are you familiar with General Westmoreland?
I'm very familiar, Congressman.
He's well known for talking about body counts. Now, when I think about you in this war, I always think about how you always got up there and would say everything's going according to plan. So let me just ask, Admiral, where was closing the strait in the plan?
I'm happy to discuss the specific operational aspects.
But did you just not anticipate that? Did you not think that Iran could do that? Or was that part of the plan here?
Congressman,
for 250 years, the Navy has kept sea lanes open and free. Under every previous president, the Strait of Hormuz has been open. So why is it closed under your watch?
Congressman, I've traveled through the Strait of Hormuz probably 100 times. I'm intimately familiar with it.
Yeah, when it was open, before Donald Trump did this, right? Okay.
As a combatant commander.
So why is it closed? If you're so familiar with it, did you not anticipate that Iran might
answer the question? If I may answer with respect, with all due respect. My responsibility as a combatant commander is to lay out all the options.
GPZ there are. What are you talking about? Said, why don't you Democratic? I'm not a Democratic Socialist, GPZ, but you said, why don't you Democratic Socialists form your own party? They do. There are Democratic Socialist parties in states. Are you not aware of that?
Present those to the Secretary and the President. They make policy-level decisions.
So you presented
the operational aspect.
So, Admiral, you presented the reality that Iran might close the strait to the President and the Secretary of Defense.
Anything that I discuss with respect to
okay, well, let's go back to the plan. Where was begging China for help opening the strait part of the plan?
So from a military perspective.
There are multiple reports now public that Iran has already reconstituted many of its bombed-out missile sites.
That's fair, Justin.
So was that part of the plan, too?
Those reports are inaccurate.
Okay.
But again, never gives us an explanation of using the term significantly degraded versus obliterated. And then here we have him with Representative Crow. Representative Crow is from Colorado, W's. And he is a combat veteran. And he's going to talk to him about the fact that Pete Hegseth keeps violating not only the Geneva Convention, but the UCMJ by saying that we are going to give no quarter. That is not allowed. That is a war crime. You can't do that. You have to give quarter. You can't do no quarter. And he's going to ask Admiral Bradley to explain that. And Admiral Bradley, as Jay Bunkie is, but is going to hedge it. He's going to weasel and not try to answer that question. Because he's trying to save his own neck. Because the Nuremberg trials part 2 are going to be an interesting thing.
Does the Law of War Manual state that it is prohibited to declare that no quarter be given?
It prohibits a large number of things.
No, I've asked you.
I will follow.
I just read the provision to you.
Damien, show me where Joe Biden said that getting vaccinated would make gas go lower. Show me that. Find me the speech. I'll go look it up.
Just literally read the provision to you. Does it prohibit you or anyone else from declaring that no quarter be given? I just read it to you.
We will follow everything that's in the law.
Answer the question, Admiral Cooper. You have tens of thousands of service members under your command.
And
I literally just read a provision from the Law of War Manual,
sir,
our own manual. Will you not just say what I just read to you?
I will say that we will follow the law of armed conflict to the T.
Then how come your boss, SecDef, why the fuck is SecDef, Pete Hegseth, saying that they will give no quarter and that their hands are untied? If you're going to follow the Law of War Manual, why the fuck is the person in charge of you saying that you're not going to follow it?
This is just unbelievable to me.
I find the same thing, sir.
This is just unbelievable to me.
Follow the law of armed conflict very calmly.
You have tens of thousands of service members under your command. I literally verbatim just read a provision from our own Law of War Manual, and you will refuse to say what that provision says. Will you agree that it is prohibited under our own manual that you and all the people under your command are obligated to follow to declare that no quarter be given?
I will agree, consistent with my constitutional responsibility, to follow the law of armed conflict to the T. And I expect everyone working for me to do that.
This is not leadership. This is not leadership. To not be able to say something as basic. The people, the men and women who we represent, who are under your command, deserve leadership.
Mr. Chairman, I object. This is a personal attack. This is unfair, and I appreciate the Admiral very much.
How's it a personal attack? He's just asking him to read the fucking provision. He's saying, hey, dude, read the fucking provision. Why can't you just do that? How's that a personal attack? Republicans are such crybaby bitches. I'm gonna save him. I'll save him. I have you. Bradley, I got you. It's fine.
This is well within the purview. This is well within the purview of my questioning.
If I may.
Mr. Gentleman's time. He's
I reclaim my time. Can I reclaim some additional time?
I'm going to give you some extra time. Go ahead.
It's our job to make sure.
Which also W to the chairman who is in charge of this committee specifically. If you guys don't know, when you are in charge, when you have the majority in Congress and Senate, you are then in the majority, you hold the majority position, the chairman position on committees. And so it's always going to be a Republican who is the majority. You usually have a minority, but it's going to be the person in charge is a Republican. There's only been a couple, I think this is the same guy, who has been very good about the rules, because guess what? If Jason Crow wanted to talk at Admiral Bradley and not have him answer a single question the entire time that he has his time, he's absolutely allowed to do so per the rules. So I'm glad that he is allowing him to reclaim his time and giving him a small amount of time that was taken from him from the snowflake bitch Republican who decided he was going to try and save an admiral.
Sure the law is being followed. That is literally the obligation of this Congress. I read to you a provision of our own Law of War Manual, and all I want you to say is what the provision says. That it is prohibited, this is the title, this is what the title says, to declare that no quarter be given.
I will follow the law to the T and expect everyone to do the same.
This is extremely disappointing. Our service members deserve far better than this. I yield back.
And he just can't answer. He refuses. He refuses to answer. And it's fucking sad. Because again, SecDef is saying that they don't have to. Okay, what did I want to... It's pretty much time for me to go. But, of course, now my numbers started doing good on YouTube. That's how it goes every single time. I don't have time for that.
It's usually the lunch hour when they start showing up.
It's a lunch hour here. It's not the lunch hour anywhere else. Okay, I can do a small bit on the economy, though, before we go. That's what I'm going to do. A small bit on the economy. And also I think it's funny, but it's also political as a funny video to end for us today. Guys, so I'm going to go a little bit past my time. So I would appreciate it if we are still tapping that screen over here on TikTok, hitting that thumbs up over there on YouTube. Guys, I do have 4786 since I'm staying a little bit longer. If you guys want to contribute, I have Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, all in the link tree in my bio if you would like to contribute to my goal. Remember, this is my job. This is what I do for a living. So I would appreciate it if you guys tip your content creator for what I do. I'm also running a mutual aid fund. As you can see, some wonderful people have donated to get us to $40 to try and help somebody with their rent. So I would appreciate it if we could work on that as well. That also goes to my Cash App, my Venmo, my PayPal, but put mutual fund on it so that our mutual aid on it so that I know I can add it into that fund and not to me. Okay? So I appreciate it. We're going to get to a little bit of the economy. We'll go back to China. Talking about what did we get out of the Chinese deal. Donald Trump didn't even talk about this, but Donald Trump talked about his relationship. But if anything, it looks like the corporations got something out of it. Shocker. China says preliminary agreement reached with the U.S. to lower some of the tariffs. Chinese Commerce Ministry said on Saturday that Beijing and Washington had struck a preliminary agreement to reduce some tariffs and also confirmed agricultural and aircraft deals reached during U.S. President Donald Trump's trip to Beijing. We talked about the aircraft deals, and we talked about agriculture. Again, Donald Trump said he was going to save farming and not sell out farmland to China. He has now switched position on that, and we are now going to sell out our farmers to China. That's great. The ministry's statement came the day after Trump concluded a state visit to China for talks with Chinese President Xi Jinping. Trump had indicated on Friday that tariffs were not discussed in his meetings with Xi, but that's not what the ministry is saying. Again, love a hyperlink to the actual site. We appreciate that so much. If it loads, there it is. China, U.S. achieved positive outcomes in economic trade consultations, says the ministry. In a statement posted on its website Saturday, the Commerce Ministry in Beijing said the two sides had agreed to establish a trade council and an investment council. The trade council will seek to negotiate reciprocal tariffs, tariff reductions on specific products, as well as broader cuts on unspecified goods, including agricultural products. Through the Trade Council, the two sides will discuss issues such as tariff reductions on specific products, and they have agreed in principle to lower tariffs on products of respective concern on an equivalent scale, the ministry said without providing further specifics. In addition, the two sides agreed to promote two-way trade, including in agricultural products, though arrangements such as mutual tariff reductions on through arrangements such as a mutual tariff reductions on a range of products. And then, of course, they go into aviation, which we talked about. But again, where is this helping us? How is this helping us? Anybody? I'm waiting. I don't see how this helps us. Lowering tariffs will, maybe. Although we didn't even really see that after COVID, right? He put tariffs on them in his first term, which we had to deal with, which destroyed the farming industry in the United States, and we had to bail out our farmers here in the United States because of the agricultural tariffs that he put on China. Not on China, but on the corporations here who buy from China, right? And then on top of that, we had COVID, which caused, not Trump's fault, but caused supply chain issues and high inflation, so the prices of products went up. Now, we even saw with Kroger specifically when they were trying to do a merger that Kroger admitted to the fact that they had raised the prices of goods higher than even where the inflation would have raised them to. They were gouging prices. And the issue is that most of the time corporations don't tend to bring those prices back down. So I don't have a lot of faith that although lowering the tariffs might be good, that it's actually going to do that. I worry about that. Godzilla King, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. You said, yo, did you guys see the minister, Ben, I'm going to mispronounce that, I apologize, Ben Gvir parading around the kidnapped flotilla folks as part of his campaign? I don't know how this wasn't front page news. It's sick. I will look that up. Let me write that down. I remember hearing about the flotilla on Twitter getting intercepted. I did not hear about him parading on it. So I'm going to write that down right now so that I can look it up. Ben Gvir. Okay. And underline it so I remember to look that up. Thank you so much, Godzilla King, for the $10 super chat so that I can look that up. I appreciate you. And also thank you to, what is it? Guitar Atheist. I can read, I promise. Guitar Atheist for the $2 super chat. I never knew America would fall so fast. I didn't either. I thought there would be a lot more guardrails in it than that. But apparently, unfortunately, not. that is just the link of the actual Chinese ministry, because I make sure that we have the primary source on that and not just the political article. Okay, I want to talk about just a couple more things before we get ready to go. Chris Wright is, he went on Fox News. Chris Wright is the Secretary of Energy, and she's going to ask him about prices over the summer, right? And especially gas prices over the summer. And he's going to say something interesting, and we're going to catch him on it from not even not even. It was the 11th was where I was able to find this video, which then this video was the one that she shows in the video. The video I'm going to show was from like a week or two before, so it's interesting.
Thanks for having me, Martha.
So where do you expect the prices to go over the summer? What's your assessment, given supply and demand over the summer? Are they going to go higher?
Hey, I don't make projections, particularly about the future, Martha, but I will say that under President Trump's leadership, we're at record U.S. oil production today, record refining capacity. We changed the blending requirements this summer to allow us to produce even more gasoline than we would normally produce.
By the way, no, Lou, thank you for that. By the way, no, that just are changing to summer blend. That's normal. They didn't do anything special. That's just normal.
For the peak summer driving season. And with 30 other nations around the world, we've released extra crude in the market during this disruption. Because yes, there is a disruption. Prices are higher than they would otherwise be. But I think President Trump summarized it well. This is a price we're all having to pay, but the cost of inaction is vastly, vastly larger than this price.
Again, something you can't prove. But the point is that he said he is not going to predict anything about the future in way of gas prices, which is interesting because Kristen Welker caught him in that about a week ago.
I do want to talk about the big issue for Americans, gas prices. Of course, you just heard me discuss how high they went this week. Here's what you said in this program in March about gas prices. Take a look. Are you confident that gas will be back under $3 a gallon by the busy summer travel season, Mr. Secretary?
There's a very good chance that'll be true. There's no guarantees in war. The time frame's still not entirely clear, but I think that's certainly a goal of the administration and very possible.
Do you? Oh, so we went from it's very possible to I will not make predictions about the future. Again, why the fuck are we over there? I'm waiting. Why are we over there? Okay, no. One more video and then the funny video. I forgot I wanted to show this. So this is GOP Vice Chair Blake Moore. I didn't really know where to fit this, so to be fair. GOP Vice Chair. These people sit. They are the ones who get together with Republicans and decide what policy it's going to be, what they're going to run on. And this is what he had to say about the Republicans' priority and loyalty and where the Republicans are focused. Hey, if you're MAGA, if you're Republican, I would really, really, really like you to pay attention to what the fuck he says right now. Okay? Because you may be a Republican, but you are an American. And I would prefer if our government and our political parties actually worked for Americans, right? Roy, we've talked about this before. It wasn't about the fact that it was Kristen Welker and NBC. It was Chris Wright's own words, right? Kristen Welker didn't put those words in his mouth. She actually showed the video of him speaking them. Okay, glad we can get on the same page. But here's the Republican priority, everybody.
You honor sacrifice not just with words, but with action. And that's where a clear contrast is. Our Republican priority will always be to be putting government ahead of Americans.
I'm sorry, what?
Honor sacrifice not just with words, but with action. And that's where a clear contrast is. Our Republican priority will always be to be putting government ahead of Americans.
Cool. Our priority will be to put government ahead of Americans. He said that. And you guys won't care because all you have is glazing Donald Trump's taint. That's all you have now. You've lost friends. You've lost family. You've lost money. You might have lost jobs. And so you just keep digging to keep supporting a man in administration and legislators who are doing nothing for you. Absolutely fucking nothing. But you guys don't care. All right, last little thing that I think is kind of funny before we get out of here, I appreciate you guys and your support today, is there is a, I believe he's, I don't want to say wrong, he's either NBC or ABC affiliate, and he got his Trump phone. So we're gonna look at it with him together. That's what we're gonna do.
Might be the first person to have the T1 Trump phone. And this is real, but I want to explain a few things before I walk you through this phone. First off, why am I doing this? So I'm a correspondent at NBC News, and I cover business and tech. And we've been following a lot of the president's business ventures, including those of his family and those of his sons. So Don Jr. and Eric, in June last year, announced Trump Mobile.
Today, we're here to introduce Trump Mobile.
But then alongside that, they said they'd be selling a hardware, a handset called the T1 Mobile. It was going to be gold. It was going to have the American flag on the back. It was going to be made in the U.S. And so we, as a test, we decided, all right, let's put $100 for that deposit down. The phone's $499, and we'll see if this phone ever exists. And August came and went. September came and went. It was supposed to be promised by then. October, November, December, nothing. I should point out, even when we put the $100 deposit down, I got a fraud alert from my company saying, is this a charge you really want to go through? And we were like, yes, we want to see this through. January, they said, we don't have anything for you, maybe by the end of the quarter. And then April, we still have nothing. And so we did a report last week for NBC News Now, where we reported that the phone still has no signs of existence.
Here we are in May of 2026, and there appears to be no sign of it.
There were some FCC documents. The Verge has done some really good reporting on this. It didn't look like it existed. And then the day after that report, I get a phone call from someone that says they're working with Trump Mobile, and they said, hey, we're sending out phones to the press. You're going to get one.
Oh, okay, here it is. Here is the long-awaited Trump Mobile phone. The phone is taller than an iPhone 17 and comes with 5...
Is that gold? You're going to get a closer look. It don't look gold to me, but, you know, maybe my eyes is old and dusty.
212 gigabytes of storage at a relatively cheap $499.
6.78-inch screen, wraps around the sides, gold back. It's got 3 cameras, 48 megapixels in the main camera.
Which you can see he corrects. It's 50, not 48.
There's an American flag on the bottom. Only 11.
Oh. 11 stripes. Except for 11, there's only 11 stripes. Thank you, Hector, for completing my finger hearts before I get out of here. Appreciate it.
Stripes, which has been catching a lot of attention on social media, but a charitable reading would be that the 13th stripe is the Trump Mobile. Regardless, it runs on Android, and it's pretty standard. I mean, playing around with it all day. I made phone calls, I made text messages with an active SIM card that Trump Mobile provided me. Out of the box, you would need to provide your own SIM card, but it seems to be working fine. And all the apps on here, pretty standard in a Google phone. You'll see the Google Suite, but you'll also see that it comes preloaded with Trump's Truth Social. That's his social media platform. But outside of that, this is a fully functional phone. I mean, it feels pretty all right. It's a little bit bigger than your standard iPhone. This is an iPhone 11 here. We think this is a repackaged phone of some other sort. Because again,
now that's where the issue starts coming in. It's not the fact that it's a fully functional phone. It's not that. It's the fact that it looks like it's repackaged. He's going to talk about, I think, Huawei. Some people were talking about some sort of T-Mobile phone that they had seen that has been sold on Amazon for way cheaper than this one is. And so the problem is they touted this as a made in America phone. And he's going to just talk to you about that. It's a scam. It's always been a fucking scam. It's not.
They said it was going to be made in the USA. There are FTC implications behind that. You cannot say that something is made in the USA if most of its parts do not come from the USA. You will not see a mention of made in the USA on the website anymore. In fact, even on the box, the only thing you will see is proudly assembled in the USA, which also has FTC implications. But it just means that as long as it is substantially transformed in the US, even if it uses parts from abroad, it could still be billed as assembled in the US, not made in the US.
Yes, trademark, they did. So originally on the website for the Trump phone, it said made in America. They did change that to literally what you just wrote, which is made with American values in mind. We get all our parts from China, but like we're thinking about you. Like what? What? I didn't get you flowers, babe, but like I was thinking about doing it, so like it should count.
Be a workaround, but that kind of reinforces that this phone is probably a repackaged version of something else. There was reporting out there maybe it was a Chinese phone, but the folks that I spoke to said this is probably an HTC U24 Pro.
HTC, excuse me, not Huawei.
Looks very similar. It has a very distinct shape.
Yeah, that does look really similar.
Almost identical so far. We're not set up for a mid-range, kind of mid-budget phone to be made in that way here in the United States. If I had to put money on it, I would say that's the HTC U24 Pro.
So it's possible. HTC did not respond to our request for comment. Trump Mobile did not respond to our request about where this came from. If it is a repackaged phone, how many pre-orders were actually put in for this thing, we don't know. But what we do know is that the Trump T1 phone does exist. It looks like this. It's not made in the US. Again, it's not an American phone. The person I spoke to said that it's as American as a Taiwanese phone, but with an American flag with 11 stripes on the back. I think I might...
Woohoo! America first! Make America great again!
You remember, like, when everyone got the vaccines and they're like, you're gonna be able to connect to 5G!
I fucking wish.
I don't think those phones could connect to 5G.
They might not be able to. That's true. They might not. I did want to address, I know you guys are having your own conversation in YouTube, and that's totally fine. You can do so. I'm not going against you on that. Bruh, I think it was. Were you addressing, I just want to make sure, were you addressing me? You were saying I would like to know her position on Israel. Was the her in question me? I just was trying to double check if I could answer that and give you my stance on Israel. Unless you were talking about a politician. And if so, then you guys keep doing what you're doing. And I don't have a problem with it, except I'm going to go. So your chat is going to disappear, and I apologize for that. But you can come back tomorrow. Jimmy, why are you apologizing? What'd you do? You guys are just talking to each other? Cool. You can't connect to your 5G? Listen, I'm convinced, as Olive knows, we try to talk on the phone, and I think that there's lead in my walls. I don't know why. It shouldn't. It's a new build. There shouldn't be lead in the walls. But for some reason, my calls go out all the time.
Maybe it's just that one area doesn't connect to the cell tower.
It's so weird, yeah. And of course, it's my bedroom and bathroom that gives me the fucking problem. Of course it is. Except the other day I was talking to you and Manny, I was outside.
And it still had issues. Yes, just in case if everyone is curious, the two couples in a trench jacket actually happens offside the app. We just talk on the phone. Nothing weird!
Well, no, bruh, I was just saying it to you specifically because I saw what you said. I was just making sure that you weren't trying to address me so that I could answer you, or if you were talking about politicians. That's all. It wasn't like anything negative. But no worries. Not a problem. All right. We're going to get ready to go. Mia is taking a break, and so we're going to respect her time and her space and give her that break. So I think we're going to rate, unfortunately, a man.
Do we have to? Does it have to be a man?
It looks like it has to be a man.
Hold on.
Which is fine. It's just Joey. Izzy's there, too.
Just say just for Izzy raid.
Yeah! We're Yes. So YouTube and Twitch, I'm going to say goodbye to you guys. I will be back tomorrow, Thursday, 10 a.m. Mountain Time, whatever time that is for you. Remember, I do come on from 10 a.m. Mountain Time until 12 Mountain Time. Go ahead, R. Baron, you can ask your question. And I will see you guys tomorrow. So I don't have any raid to send you. I apologize. That is what it is. But thank you guys for spending your time with me. Thank you to those who donated to the mutual fund over there on YouTube. Thank you guys so much. And thank you for the super chats as well. Thank you over there on Twitch. I see you guys. I promise that I see your messages. I see the ops messages too. But I see you guys over there and I see the support and I appreciate it so much for being on that calm space over there on Twitch. So YouTube and Twitch.